Right, so begin by opening up a Unity project. You can either create a new one or use one you already have. In this case, I'm just going to use a project I've made already. Let's open it up. Just a boat, some water, a bit of land. So, for your camera script, you're going to want to create two things. You're going to want, let me just delete this and make it again. Generally, I find you want to use the origin of the body. This is just the center. Create an empty game object. Rename it to whatever you want, although I would recommend you call it CameraRig or something similar, just so you can track where it is quite easily. Then inside this, create a camera, and I leave it as a parent-child. Now, the CameraRig position doesn't very matter, like its Y position. It can be anywhere, but to try and keep it centered. Camera position is where you want it. Basically, your camera is going to rotate around the CameraRig's position. So, let me get a preview up here. So, way I can keep that up. I think if I hit that, it will stay. Yes, right. So, you see preview down here. If I click on the CameraRig and go to the pivot and turn this around, as you can see here, it's rotating around and here. This is essentially the control that your player will have. So, wherever you position this is where they're going to rotate around, so keep that in mind. I'm just going to position this. I checked this out already, so I'm pretty sure these are the right numbers. Minus 150, right? That should be good for me. That's centered. And let me just hit this. Right, cool. So now you're going to want to create your script. Just create C# script. I'm just going to call this camera, if I can spell, CameraBehaviour. So, open it up. Yeah, you can remove this. We're probably going to end up rewriting it very shortly, but why not? A lot of people use Visual Studio, but I'm using Writer, but the code will be the exact same either way. We'll start off with creating. We'll go for the transform. So we're gonna create references to the CameraRig game object and the camera itself. This is so that we can actually use them to rotate later on. So we'll go for the CameraRig, and then we will create one for the camera. Next, we're going to create our values for sensitivity and for the scroll sensitivity. I'm making two separate values for this because scroll sensitivity is very different from normal sensitivity, and it just wouldn't make sense to have the same value for both of them, else you're gonna have a lot of messing around. Other than that, we will need create two private floats, one for your X rotation and one for Y rotation. We'll be modifying these later to actually rotate around. If you haven't deleted it, use it or recreate your update function. And create another private void called rotation, or whatever you want it to be. Doesn't matter. You don't have to do this. You can actually put this in update, but I like separating things out because it makes doing some things easier, and so in my head it's easier to manage. So let's kick this off with getting our input. So far, you can name these whatever you want, but I like mouse X, so MX. So MX.GetAxis, mouse X, hence the MX. You're going to want your Y-axis because this is going to be your horizontal. So mouse X is your horizontal axis. Mouse Y will be your vertical. So let's go. Input.GetAxis, mouse Y. We'll de-scroll in a wee bit. Won't worry too much about it. While we've got these, let's quickly times this by sensitivity and by delta time so it's smooth. This will stop it from being insanely high values. Right, so that's sorted. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to times these by 10. You don't have to. You probably don't need to. It's just because in this project, my models are scaled up very high. Hence, I'd have to use very high sensitivity in the editor, or I can just scale them up in the code and have lower values, which I prefer. Anyways, next we're going to... We're we're going to set our horizontal axis. No, quickly. We'll do this first. We'll set up we'll get the transform.rotation. So this is getting the transform. So the thing that the script, whatever you've put the script on, it will get that. So this will be our CameraRig. We'll put it on now. It's going to get the transform. So it's going to get the CameraRig game object, not transform. You're going to get the rotation of this object. Okay, so you're getting the rotation of the CameraRig. This here. Oh, not that. And you're going to set that to Quaternion.Identity. This is basically Euler angles, but handy. So it's just the rotation. So we're going to basically if you set these, this is basically the coordinates or the editor values here. You see rotation. If I set this to say 15, this will be your vertical axis, horizontal. So this is what you use for rotation. First off, we do not want any z-axis rotation, as that would just be weird, unless you do need it. In that case, you can repeat this with an extra axis. So anyway, we're going to set this up x rotation, we'll go to x rotation, y rotation, we'll go to y. Leave z 0, this will mean that z will always be 0, and it will stop it from rotating over time. Next up, we're going to set our values, our input, equal to the flutes. So mx, your horizontal axis, will go to your yrot. Yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, sorry, it'll go opposite. So your mx, so mouse horizontal, will actually go to yrot rotation, because as you move your mouse left and right, if I create a quick cue, actually I just use the show. As you move your mouse left to right, like this here, the Y rotation, this is what you're changing. As you change, it will do this. As I'm doing right now, you see, even select it. This is what you're doing. See, the value will change. Same for, so your mouse Y, so this is the vertical axis on the mouse, will be affecting your X rotation. Even though you'd think that it'd be MX to X rotation. Sometimes I get muddled up myself, but I wouldn't get too stuck up on it. That might have been the wrong way around. That was the wrong way around. Oh, the joys of editors. Anyways. There we go. This should actually work already. I'm pretty sure if I haven't messed things up. A good time to check, actually. First off, it'd probably help if I set the sensitivity to set this up. So anyways, CameraRig to CameraRig. Camera. Oh, maybe not select that. Oh. Oh. Camera to camera, sensitivity, put these both to 100, put this to 500 for now, even though that's actually not going to do anything just yet. Now, yes, as I move the mouse, I can look all around my vessel. Although you notice a couple things here. First off, we cannot scroll, and I can go absolutely anywhere, which you probably don't want. So let's solve ScrollWheel first. So let's create a new axis, var, go for MW for mouse wheel, Input.GetAxis, ScrollWheel. Mouse scroll wheel. Times that by your scroll sensitivity. Times that, in my case, I'm going to times that by 100 because it's that bloody stubborn. Times that by delta time. And you don't need to do any of this for this here. We're going to now get the camera itself. So the camera.transform. Well, actually, I need to, to translate. Vector free forward. This is moving the camera back and forward. So what we want to do here is get the camera itself and move it back and forward like this by scroll wheel. And yeah, vector free is it's a scalar quantity, so it has no direction, so it's always going to move forward and backwards according to the rotation of the object. So let's go times that by scroll sensitivity. Well, no, don't even need to do that, sorry. We've already done that. Times MW, and that's it, actually. That's all you need to do for that. So, jump back in, make sure that's set up, yep, hit play. And, yep, scroll wheel now works, which is what we want. Yeah. Quick thing I'm going to do is, just because I prefer it this way, another thing why I like separating out my methods, .GetMouseButton 1. So that means it would only rotate if I'm holding down the right mouse button. Anyways, lastly, final thing we want to do is we want to actually clamp our rotation so that we can't do this. So we get our, see things, put it this way, we want to clamp the vertical rotation, so that actually is our x-axis, so we're going to clamp the x rotation. So x rotation equals mathf dot oh, not that apparently, okay, mathf dot clamp x rotation. So basically we're telling the x rotation, we're setting it equal to new clamp rotation. If you don't set it equals to, it won't take any effect. Basically now we're going to set the minimal value of 0 and the maximum value of 90. And close that off. And that is it. That's the whole entire script. Let's just cut this down a bit, save some white space. Maybe not that, I like a bit of space. And that should be it. CameraRig's actually unnecessary. The reason why I have CameraRig in there is if you want to clamp your ScrollWheel rotation. So anyways, if you check this now, I'm stuck locked in these axes, which is what we want. Now, for ScrollWheel, basically what I do is I don't really like, I haven't got a good way to solve this yet. I mean, I have a method which I use, and I'll show it to you quickly, but I don't like using it because it's kind of gross. But what I do is I would make a float for distance, so public float distance, and then I would get the distance between the camera's position and the CameraRig's position. So dist equals distance, vector free dot distance. This will just get the distance between two objects. CameraRig dot position and camera dot position. So if you check this here, distance, you'll see that you'll now get the distance between the current position. So scroll out 5600 C and zoom in. Get the values. Now what I would do, and what I do currently do, is I basically just if statements. If the distance to the target is less than, let's say, in this case, less than 120. So if it goes under 120, basically a bool, I'll use booleans. So once it goes past 120, it can no longer, I'll just say nope, can no longer move forward. And if it's greater than 500, nope, can no longer zoom out. And yeah, we're a bit messy, but take that with what you will. Anyways, thanks for watching.